For the French, the Louvre is more than just a museum. What was once a royal palace became a public treasure house that France prides itself for. It represents the country's history and sits at the center of French culture and identity. That's why it was supposed to be untouchable. The cultural and historical value of the Louvre turned it into an impregnable fortress, guarded by scanners, cameras, and a small army of staff. It was believed to be the most secure place for any priceless piece of art. Yet on the quiet Sunday morning of October 19th, that illusion came crashing down. In a heist that lasted only 7 minutes, a crew slipped in through the second-floor window of the Galerie de Poland, like a scene from Ocean's 11, and emptied 2 cases of crown jewels. By noon, streets were shut off. The French public was in shambles, and every screen in Paris carried the same headline.
A sprawling international manhunt underway this morning after thieves took priceless jewels from the Louvre Museum in Paris.
This wasn't just a robbery, it was a strike at France's history and its national pride. This is how the Louvre got hit, in broad daylight. For a long time, the Louvre has felt bulletproof, a palace-turned-museum that seemed beyond risk. However, this is not the first heist the Louvre has known. In 1911, Vincenzo Peruggia, an ordinary handyman, lifted the Mona Lisa off the wall, hid it, and turned it into a global obsession. After a 2-year-long search, the painting was found in Italy and restored to its place at the museum. Since then, security was rebuilt, and the Louvre has proven to have earned the status of an impregnable citadel. The masterpieces of art and national symbols it held were safely kept behind layers of protection. Cameras tucked along the walls, locked doors, and guard routes planned to the minute. The museum ran like a clock with controlled entrances and a 24/7 operations center. Despite all of this, the unthinkable happened when everyone least expected it. The heist took place in the Galerie de Poland, a hall that houses what is left of the French crown jewels, necklaces, and ceremonial pieces tied to French nobility. The gallery was not remote, filmed by a tourist of the thieves descending the lift. They escaped on the back of 2 waiting scooters, but not everything went according to plan. In their rush, a 19th century crown was dropped or discarded during their escape and later found by authorities in a nearby alley lying damaged on the ground. Inside the Louvre, police sealed entrances and the museum closed for the day. Forensics teams lifted prints from the lift's controls, pulled surveillance footage from interior corridors and exterior streets. To make sure not to be linked to the robbery, the thieves had rented out the lift truck 9 days prior. They placed the order under a fake name, and when the delivery guy came to deliver the lift truck, 2 masked guys showed up to the location and hijacked the truck. They painted it and put up a fake license plate. The initial investigation conclusion was quickly shaped. Experienced professionals exploited a construction site adjacent to the museum as an access to perform a high-level smash and grab. The thieves were last seen heading south on their scooters, likely aiming for the highway out of Paris altogether. The first part of their mission was successful, but what comes next is way more challenging. With all of France on their tail, will they be able to melt the pieces and see their money? Or will all of it be for nothing? France woke up to more than a theft. It was a blow to national pride that caused a political outcry, with Macron calling the raid an attack on our history. National Rally leader Jordan Bardella said it was an intolerable humiliation, and Marine Le Pen of Front National called it a wound to the French soul. What's even worse, this is not the first French museum to be hit. Since September, 3 museums have been hit in Paris. The National Museum of Natural History, the Museum of President Jacques Chirac, and now the Louvre. The pressure on authorities is at an all-time high to put an end to this humiliating pattern and appease the French public. Solving this heist is a race against the clock. Pieces this famous can't be sold intact, which pushes thieves towards breaking them up, melting them, and recutting their stones. That's why the first week following any museum heist is the most important. If pieces are recovered during it, they are usually still intact and can be saved. But beyond the 1-week mark, pieces are typically already gone for good. 800 million euros are on the line.
So they planned this very well with inside help, for sure. What they could do, there's three ways to do it. They could break them all up, sell the gold, sell the diamond. You know, listen, there's a lot of diamonds. That's one way. Then they could also wait a while, and a lot of times the insurance companies will put out a reward. No questions asked. If they, it's a $5 million hit, they'll put out $1 million right now. And, people do that. They actually wait.
Up to now, the thieves have left behind their scooters, the lift, and a yellow vest worn during the heist. With only a few clues available, things are not looking good for the French. Can France catch the thieves and save the jewels before history gets melted down? A question only time can answer. If you're interested in becoming a YouTuber, whether a personal channel or a faceless one, we made a document to help you understand a few key points before you actually invest in YouTube. Click the link in the description. It's completely free. Subscribe and we'll see you on the next one.